how far this coffee has to come to get into our cups. That's why we're here, that you can see all of this work that has been put into the coffee. And that's our job, right, as the coffee roasters, to be able to transport not only the coffee and its taste, but also like the story behind it.
We made it.
It was a long drive, but finally we're here.
Yeah, by the 1,000 hills.
The lake actually, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but if you cross the lake, you're in Congo. These little islands, they still belong to Rwanda. And in that direction there's actually the experimental power plant, which takes gas out of the lake, because there's gas below the lake, which is dangerous to the people if it comes to the surface. So they're trying to get some energy out of it and diffuse the danger. And yeah, it's really green, really beautiful. The weather is so nice, 26 degrees, perfect climate. Yeah, what's the plan for today? We're probably going to meet Aimé, the producer of our Gitesi Coffees, the managing director of the Gitesi washing station. We will probably meet him later in town, maybe to grab something to eat. And then tomorrow we will go to the washing station and meet the team behind Gitesi Coffee and see, or rather show you, how the coffee is produced. And I think one thing you remarked while we were driving, that how far this coffee has to come to get into our cups, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to harvest it here, process it here, and then bring it to Kigali, which is already a 5-hour drive by truck. In Kigali you have to prepare it for export. Then it has to be shipped to Kenya to be put on a ship, and then it will come to Europe. And just our part as roasters is so small in this. That's why we're here, that you can see all of this work that has been put into the coffee, and our work of roasting it and then putting it into our shop is actually the smallest part in this whole coffee chain.
Well, maybe not the smallest, maybe the smallest, but still the most important part, maybe.
Yeah, it's important in a way that it's the final step to make it drinkable for the consumers, and also to actually sell the coffee in its final form. But because it's specialty coffee, most of the work that is done at the roasting step is just transforming what is actually there already into the drinkable flavors. So we can't turn bad coffee into good coffee while roasting it. We can only turn great coffee into worse coffee if we mess up the roasting. And all of the flavors that you see here, it comes from the work of the producers who plant the coffee, who take care to harvest it at the right time, to pick only the ripe cherries, who then have to transfer it without deteriorating the quality to the washing station. And then obviously the care of the team of Gitesi Coffee to really make this step from turning the fruit that coffee is into the dried seeds that we can then roast in Europe.
Okay, really dumb question, but why don't they roast it here?
They do, actually, and we've been to Question Coffee this morning in Kigali to grab our breakfast, and it's really excellent coffee, and it's roasted here.
And it actually tastes quite similar to the Gitesi coffee in Neukölln.
Yeah,
which I consume very often, to be honest. Actually, for the people that don't know me, it might be interesting to hear how we too ended up here. Maybe
Yeah, why did you join us, Leon? Tell us.
Well, basically because my girlfriend lives above the Warawul Coffee in Neukölln, and I was sitting there like almost every day for a few months because we have a small apartment and no office room, and I was working there, and Zulka is so nice, and Annabelle is so nice, and you are all so nice, and this is why as we saw each other so often, we got in contact more and more, and we did some. I mean, we already talked about doing this for last year, I think, and
yeah.
then it was like, well, we don't know. It's quite expensive to go alone, but to take someone with us, and yeah. And so we started with a little bit of social content, the videos we already did, and then suddenly one day I wasn't coming to the coffee. I was just going by, and then Tsuka came after me and said, "Hey, Leon, Chris want to talk to you." Yeah, and 3 weeks later we're here.
Yeah, it was actually quite spontaneous. So I'm very grateful that you made some room in your calendar, because we thought about it like, what's the value of us coming here? And of course, the value is to connect again with Aimee, whom I met 3 years ago in Kigali, and to talk about the next harvest, which we will order, to prepare everything, to strengthen our relationship with them and the team. But it's also to tell the story and to document it. And for that, we got the perfect regular customer in our cafe, which is Leon, who became part of our family, of our Warawul family. And yeah, so it was the perfect fit, and I'm so happy that you joined us.
Yeah, I'm also very happy. Even if Gitesi isn't my personal favorite.
Oh,
No, I have to admit that it's just, for me, I like it more. The Gitesi I like more when it's in my cappuccino with just one shot than with two.
yeah, it's a very strong coffee. And actually, yeah, also the coffee we drank this morning at Question Coffee is very strong, very powerful. Yeah, but I think your favorite is Hidado's coffee.
Yeah.
From Honduras, and you also met Hidado, right, when he visited us?
True.
So I think, I mean, that's what we want to achieve. Like, even if you're not a coffee nerd, coffee person, if you're not into specialty coffee, if you just want to have your cappuccino, you should feel welcome, and you should be able to learn a little bit more about what this drink is that we are consuming almost every day, without having to do all the effort and all the research, just by looking at the coffee bag and seeing who's the person behind it. Yeah.
True.
And that's our job, right, as the coffee roasters, to be able to transport not only the coffee and its taste, but also like the story behind it.
Yeah, and you really educated me as well, because there are, especially in Berlin, there are so many nice places to have a coffee, but the coffee itself is always like really standard. Sure, there are some places, places where they really think about what kind of coffee do we want to serve, but most coffees want that the coffee tastes like every other coffee.
Yeah. It's the lowest common denominator, right? You don't want to offend anybody who is not used to, maybe, because it's true that specialty coffee, not everybody likes it, and I think that's fine, right? You don't, if you're familiar with the coffee you grew up with and you have strong childhood memories and you love just the flavor of roasted, dark roasted coffee, and that's completely fine. And it doesn't have to be for everybody, right? We want to offer coffees that can be attractive to everybody, but we also don't want to hide where the coffee is coming from.
Yeah.
Because in the end, every coffee tastes different depending on what the producer intended to do, where it's from.
Yeah, sure. But still, I have to say, like after spending some time in your coffee world, I was like, in German we would say versaut.
Yeah.
I realized that other coffee shops are not the same anymore for me, because the coffee tastes like it. It tastes like coffee, but nothing more. There's no particular taste in it.
Yeah.
And this is what you did to me.
We captured you.
Yeah. And then I bought your coffee for my machine, which is a really cheap one, which doesn't brew very hot. And I was like, that's not the taste I'm used to from the coffee shop. No. Yeah, now I have to buy a machine.
Yeah, but I mean, that's also something for us, right? Because what we want is that anybody, you don't need to have like a huge setup or the best gear in the world. Anybody should be able to prepare it. So it's kind of on us if you weren't satisfied with what came out. And I mean, of course, there's better machines, but yeah, it's something that we should think about, right? Even if you use a mocha pot, it should taste good.
That's true. That's true. I think there are really better ways to drink coffee than I did it, because the machine is. I don't want to talk bad about the machine, because the parents of my girlfriend gifted them to me.
We'll cut it out.
Before that, I just had a Senseo machine at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, okay. Yeah, I think it's time for us to try these ones and prepare and maybe have a little nap before we head out to meet Emil.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited.
So these are veggie samosas. So they look really good. Let's see.
Let's
how they
see,
taste.
yeah.